Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to paint a refreshing waterfall and a cozy stone pathway nestled in a lush green forest. I've prepared this tutorial with step-by-step voice guidance perfect for beginners, so just relax and enjoy the calming music. Let's get started. With a large fan brush, blend white and cadmium yellow to block in the glowing background light at the center of the forest. Let's bring in the lush greens of our background forest by adding oxide green and cadmium yellow into our current mix. Softly blend this color around the central light source, letting the tones transition naturally. The combination of earthy oxide green and vibrant cadmium yellow beautifully captures the look of distant leaves catching the sun. Keeping the center bright while letting the soft greens wrap around the edges is the secret to creating a wonderful sense of depth and atmospheric perspective. Now let's mix a bit more oxide green into our color to build up the midtones that will give our forest its true depth. Softly sweep and blend this tone to create a smooth transition from the bright light we just painted. As this rich, earthy green settles in, it pushes the background scenery deeper into the distance, making our central light source appear incredibly vast and glowing. Taking the time to layer these midtones seamlessly ensures there are no harsh edges, weaving a natural, tranquil backdrop that feels like a real, deep forest escape. Let's switch over to our fine liner brush for some delicate detail work. Mix white and Van Dyke brown on your palette to create a soft, muted, grayish brown, almost like a misty shadow. With a very light touch, we're going to plant some slender tree trunks way back in the distance. Let's add a bit more Van Dyke brown into our current color to drop the tone into a slightly richer, deeper value. With this shade, we're going to plant our mid-ground trees, placing them just a step forward from the ones we just painted. Try making these lines a tiny bit thicker and crisper than the distant ones. Next, let's switch to our small fan brush to capture those magical sunbeams filtering through the canopy. Mix white and cadmium yellow to create a brilliant, luminous light tone. Now, here is a fantastic pro tip. Make sure your brush is completely dry and load just a tiny whisper of paint onto the bristles. Starting from our central light source, gently sweep downward in soft, diagonal strokes. Before we bring in our refreshing water, we need to build up the sturdy, rocky backdrop that our waterfall will cascade over. Let's switch to our liner brush and blend Van Dyke brown and black with just a touch of white to create a rich, deep, stony shadow. We'll use this color to block in the solid forms of the heavy rocks behind the water path. Establishing this dark, bold value first is essential. It creates the perfect background contrast, ensuring that the crisp white foam and rushing water we layer on top will pop with incredible dimension and realism. Let's add a bit more Van Dyke brown and black into our mix to deepen the value into a richer, darker shade. We'll use this bold color to define the forms of the remaining rocks. Focus on tucking this deeper tone into the crevices where the boulders meet and along those heavy bottom shadows. Giving these areas a firm, anchoring touch makes the stone structures instantly feel heavy, textured, and three-dimensional. Securing these rich darks across the canvas is what gives our hidden forest its grand and majestic atmosphere. Let's mix a little bit of white into our current color to create a soft, grayish-brown mid-tone. We're going to use this shade to lightly touch and define the top planes and angled surfaces of the rocks where the sunlight catches them. Introducing this middle value between our deep shadows and highlights is what bridges the contrast, instantly giving the stones a smooth, natural, and rounded volume. Letting the natural texture of your bristles show through here beautifully mimics the rugged, weathered feel of real forest boulders. Let's bring that exact same color mix over to the right side of our canvas to structure our beautiful stone steps. Using the same palette ensures that these steps look like an organic extension of the surrounding boulders, weaving the whole landscape together seamlessly. As you lay down your strokes, visualize the anatomy of each step, capturing the flat top where your foot would rest and the short vertical drop of the front edge. Defining this winding pathway one tier at a time instantly creates a cozy, inviting trail that guides the viewer's eyes right up into our hidden forest sanctuary. Let's blend a bit of white and Van Dyke brown into our color to build up the rocks and smaller stones right in the foreground of our waterfall. We're going to scatter these stones around the base, where the rushing water crashes and foams. Since these are in the absolute foreground, try varying their sizes and shapes rather than making them look uniform. Adding these solid structures up front neatly frames the water's path, giving our waterfall a realistic channel to flow through, while lifting the entire canvas with a beautiful sense of depth. Let's mix a generous touch of white into our current color to create a nice, bright highlight tone. We're going to use this shade to gently catch the flat top surfaces of our stone steps where the sunlight hits them directly. While you're at it, sweep these bright accents along the top edges of the rocks around the waterfall and in the foreground. Stepping up the value on these sunlit plains instantly makes it look like the brilliant forest light is shattering beautifully across the stone, lifting our landscape with crisp contrast and wonderful realism. Let's mix Van Dyke brown and black to create a very rich, deep shadow tone. We'll use this dark shade to firmly trace underneath each step and tuck into the deep crevices between the stones. In painting, securing bold darks is just as crucial as adding light. By anchoring these deep shadows, the bright highlights we just painted will instantly pop with brilliant contrast, turning our flat lines into heavily textured, three-dimensional stone steps you can almost feel underfoot. Now let's refine these stone steps so they don't look forced, making them feel as though they've always been a part of this ancient forest. Take your time and slowly build up the three-dimensional form, carefully defining the flat top and the quiet drop of each tier. The key here is balance, ensuring the path beautifully dissolves into the surrounding nature while still maintaining its solid, layered structure. Softly weaving these elements together gives our winding forest trail an incredibly organic, lifelike presence. Now switch to a small fan brush and blend white, permanent green deep, and cobalt blue to block in the deep, translucent water tone right at the base of the waterfall. Add white to your current color, and with a light touch, gently sweep in the water strands flowing down the waterfall. Next, let's blend oxide green and permanent green deep to layer in the lush green foliage around our rocks. Combining the earthy depth of oxide green with the vibrant tone of permanent green deep gives us a rich, organic green that perfectly mimics wild nature. We'll gently tap and sweep this color into the crevices of the boulders and along the edges of the steps. Introducing these soft, organic textures against the hard, rugged stone is what truly brings our waterfall scenery to life, making it feel wonderfully rich and full of vitality. Let's keep adding permanent green deep and oxide green to our mix, and this time we'll layer in the lush grass hugging the stone steps along with the leafy canopy on our trees. Lightly tap and sweep your brush to create the beautiful texture of overlapping leaves. Extending these organic tones from the low ground foliage up to the branches weaves a wonderful sense of harmony throughout the entire canvas. As these rich layers of green build up, our hidden forest sanctuary deepens into an incredibly cozy, life-filled escape. Now it's time to let that beautiful forest sunlight dance across our greenery. Let's blend cadmium yellow into our current mix to create a crisp, sun-kissed light green. With a gentle touch, we're going to tap this bright shade onto the tops of the bushes and the outer edges of the branches, right where they catch that brilliant glowing light from the center of our canvas. The secret is not to cover all our darks. Leaving those deep shadows underneath creates a gorgeous contrast that makes the whole forest look lush, vibrant, and filled with life. Let's switch back to our liner brush to anchor the entire landscape with beautiful depth. Mix Van Dyke brown and black on your palette to create a solid, heavy shadow tone. With this rich shade, we're going to plant the large, prominent tree trunks right in the immediate foreground, on both the left and right sides. Since these are the closest elements to the viewer, don't be afraid to make them bold, thick, and commanding. Establishing these strong, dark structures up front acts like a natural picture frame, pushing our central sunlight and rushing waterfall deep into the distance with incredible, breathtaking contrast. Next, let's let that warm forest light embrace our large foreground tree trunks as well. Mix white with just a whisper of Van Dyke brown to create a soft, muted highlight tone. We're going to apply this shade along the inner edges of the trunks, the sides directly facing our bright central sunlight. Letting your brushstroke stay a bit loose and textured beautifully mimics the natural, rugged feel of tree bark. Introducing this highlighted plane against our deep shadow side instantly gives these giant trees a rounded, three-dimensional weight that anchors the scene. Let's add a bit more black into our current color to deepen the value into a rich, heavy shadow. We're going to use this shade to trace the outer edges and deep crevices of the trunks, right where they face away from the sunlight. Securing this bold, deep shadow on the opposite side is what makes our highlights truly sing. Anchoring the edges with this rich dark creates a striking contrast, instantly giving these giant trees a heavy, three-dimensional mass that feels incredibly powerful and real. Now, let's switch back to our small fan brush to add some beautiful deep dimension to our greenery. Mix permanent green deep and Van Dyke brown to create a rich, earthy forest shadow. We're going to lightly tap this tone into the lower sections of the bushes and the crevices where the grass meets the rocks. Securing these deep darks right beneath our sun-kissed highlights is the secret to making the foliage look incredibly thick, layered, and lush. Watch how this contrast instantly gives our forest floor a cozy, high-density texture. Now everyone, here is the most exciting and dramatic moment of our painting. Make sure your brush is completely dry and load it with pure, crisp white. Relax your wrist entirely and let's gently sweep downward along the path of the waterfall with feather-light strokes. Keeping the brush dry is the secret here. It allows the paint to skip across the canvas texture, effortlessly mimicking the raw, crashing foam and transparent strands of rushing water. As you touch upon the streams weaving and splashing between the rocks, you can almost hear the refreshing roar of the waterfall echoing through the studio. For our very last touch, let's switch back to our liner brush and use pure white to fine-tune the crisp, delicate strands of the rushing water. We'll gently trace those sharp, energetic crests where the water thrashes against the stone and dot in those brilliant, sun-catching droplets to push our contrast to the absolute maximum. How did you enjoy journeying into this refreshing forest waterfall with me today? Please remember that every single subscription and warm like you leave means the absolute world to me. It is the incredible fuel that keeps me inspired to open up my studio and create healing art tutorials for you week after week. Happy painting!